There's not a single person on this planet that doesn't want to become more productive. Whether it's for work, for school, for business, it doesn't matter. Everyone hates the feeling of getting nothing done while time just keeps passing by. We've all been there. You promised yourself that you would go to the gym, that you would work on a certain project for an hour, but then you come home from work, you're tired, and you tell yourself you're gonna do it tomorrow. But eventually, the work never gets done. In this video, I'll give you some of the principles that increased my productivity by at least 10 times. Not just doubling or tripling it, no. If you apply these principles, then I promise you that you will get so much more work done. And I will not talk about the obvious things like remove your phone or block Instagram. These are tricks that you probably never heard of, but they are proven to work. So let's get straight into it. I want to offer as much value in as little time as possible. So I'm gonna start with the principle that had the biggest effect for me. It's a trick that I learned from a YouTuber named Bog, and it's basically setting a timer while you work. You're probably really confused right now and wonder how that's gonna help, but let me explain. Before you start, whatever task that you want to complete, you just go to Google and set a 1-hour timer. All you have to do is make sure that during that timer, you're only working on that one single task. If you get distracted, you immediately pause the timer, even for really small things. So if you get a coffee, you pause the timer. If you go to the toilet or you open a different tab like YouTube, you pause the timer. The reason that this is so effective is because almost everyone completely overestimates how much deep work they are actually doing. You might think that you worked for 2 hours, but in reality, you only worked for like 40 minutes because you grabbed your phone or watched a YouTube video about work instead of doing it yourself. These things make you feel like you're being productive, but you're actually not. The trick with a timer ensures that all that time goes to actually doing the work and not procrastinating. You need to try this out, and it doesn't even have to be 1 hour straight. It could be like 2 sessions of 30 minutes. Listen, if you only take away one thing from this video, then let it be this one. Because I promise you, you will get so much more work done. Just try it out, even if it's only like a 20 or 30 minute timer. Also, if you do decide to try it, then please come back to this video and let me know if it worked for you or not at all. I'm really curious and I'd love to hear your feedback. Now let's say you actually apply what you learn in this video and you decide to use the trick with the timer. Then what should you actually do during that time? What type of work should you prioritize? Well, it's actually simple. Always start with the annoying and hard task first. And when I say first, I mean immediately after you wake up. Think about it like this. Every single day when you wake up, you start with a certain amount of brain power. If you wake up and immediately check your phone, you lose like 10 brain power. If you make social media content and you check your analytics for quick dopamine instead of actually producing new content, you lose brain power. Do you see where I'm going with this? If you keep procrastinating and do the hard work later in the day, then you'll have very little brain power left and it becomes 10 times harder to do the work. And you will probably not even do it at all. This also applies to good habits that you perceive as really productive. Meditating, for example, reading, going to the gym. You're still spending your brain power when doing those. And don't get me wrong, these are great habits, but you should always do them after the hard task. I know this can be difficult if you work early in the morning. I struggled with this myself. I recently started doing morning shifts again, and it became a lot harder to focus and work on my business after I came home from work tired and unmotivated. So I decided to wake up earlier. I hop out of bed and set a 30-minute timer, and I do as much deep work as possible on the hardest task of the day. And if you wonder what I mean with the hard task, well, that all depends on you. For you, it could be going to the gym, for example, like if you're struggling to get consistent. But if you're trying to create content, it could be writing a script or recording a voiceover, for example. For someone who does dropshipping or e-commerce, it could be something like fulfilling orders or creating digital ads. But you definitely know for yourself which task you dread the most or struggle the most to get consistent with. Now the next one is a lot more obvious, but that doesn't make it less important, and that is eliminating distractions. I'm gonna keep it simple here. I'm not gonna tell you to install certain blockers for Instagram or TikTok. All these things could help, but most of the time they are temporary solutions. Here's the best thing you can do. Just make your environment extremely simple and boring. If whatever is in front of you on your desk doesn't contribute in any way to the task that you're trying to do, remove it and put it in another room. The most obvious one is going to be your phone. Just put it in another room. Structure your environment in such a way that working is the most fun thing you can do in that moment. Everything around you should be so boring during that 1 hour that the only thing you can do apart from working is staring at an empty wall. And I promise you that if you have to choose between staring at a wall or working, you will work. Now the next principle is more like a bonus, and it could be a bit different for everyone. So you might have to experiment a little bit with it, but it's about your diet. And I say diet but it's actually a really empty diet. I personally always fast for at least the first 4 hours of the day. All I consume during that time is water and coffee. I find that not eating for the first couple hours of the day helps me to concentrate a lot better. Now this may not work for everyone, but I encourage you to at least try it for a couple days. But if you do decide to eat right after waking up, then make sure it's something light. Not too many fats or processed sugars, something like yogurt or some fruit. I'm saying this for a reason. Fats are a lot harder to digest. You don't want your blood to flow to your stomach when you need it the most in your brain. And if you start your day with too much processed stuff, like cereal for example, your blood sugar will spike and crash later, completely destroying your ability to concentrate. As a kid, I always used to eat cereal before school, and that was why I always felt tired during class. You probably recognize yourself in that as well. Now you know the reason. These foods give you what I call brain fog. Like it makes it really difficult to focus on one thing. And I find that I get it more from certain foods than others. So try experimenting with it. Start with your work, then go eat something, and you will see that after you ate, your focus will be worse. That's why I like fasting. I've personally been doing this for a couple of years now, and I've seen great results from it when it comes to working and concentration. But it's also great if you're trying to lose weight. But if you're gonna try out fasting in the morning, just drink water and black coffee. I also really like some caffeine during work. For me, it kinda works like a miracle drug as long as I drink it in the morning or early afternoon so it doesn't mess with my sleep. You could also do energy drinks, but be careful with that too. There could be a lot of sugar or processed stuff in there. Coffee will always be a better option. I hope you got some value from this video. I really tried my best to keep it as short as possible while only showing the principles that really made a big difference for me. I really hope you're actually gonna try them out. Remember that watching content or learning about something doesn't have any meaning if you don't actually apply it. I promise you that if you actually try it, it will completely change the way you work. Feel free to comment down below if it worked for you, or maybe it didn't work at all. I'd love to hear it. Also, if you like this type of content, then make sure you subscribe. Until next time.